Is this what your motoring future holds? With laws being passed in Europe that by 2040 petrol and diesel cars may not be allowed, maybe this is exactly what your future of motoring is going to be. Look at this cable that runs across over here to a little charger unit that runs up here to, yes, an electric plug. Simple as that, because that's how the BMW i3 is powered. Very different looking car, you can see. Futuristic is the word you have to use when you describe the i3. Big 20-inch wheels, even on a smallish car like this. And just in case you don't believe me that it's a BMW, that badge is very definitely BMW, isn't it? And look at this front end. A new version of the BMW kidney grills, but it's got the kidney grills as well. So it has all the signs and signals and facets of a BMW, but with so many differences. The BMW i3 certainly has some conventional aspects and a lot of very different aspects. This door opens, looks pretty normal, doesn't it? But look how you access the rear seats. You simply open up that way over there. It's a city car, most definitely. That's what it's built as. But it's built as a four-seater city car if you want to use the back seats. Enough headroom for my hat, except when you're climbing through the door. But this is pretty comfortable in the back seat, isn't it? And nice space for two over here. So you've got the functionality around town. That makes life very easy. The i3 comes with an electric motor, or the range extender version, the REX that we're testing over here, has a supplementary 650cc two-cylinder engine, petrol engine as well, as the extender, which gets used afterwards. Because this is first and foremost electric power with the petrol as a secondary way round, and you've got to look at it in that way. So you simply plug it in, and that gives you on a full charge about 130 kilometers of electric only city driving. Then you have a little 9-litre fuel tank which will give you about another 130. So a total range of say 250-ish kilometers if you want, and we did test that by going out into the country in the vehicle as well. So you can have it both ways. Bodywork, very futuristic, a lot of very futuristic high strength plastics used, and features of the car that are very interesting. If you look inside, and we'll look properly inside in a moment, but a lot of the interior is recyclable, and a lot of items recyclable, space age, and very interesting. So let's take a look properly on the inside of the car. Climbing inside the i3, you can see it does look very different, doesn't it? The screen in front of me, of course, is your normal speedo, but more important is showing ranges, and that's the range on electric, and that's the range on petrol. Those are the important items that you really want to worry about. As you saw just now, the car is on charge at the moment. Something else that's seriously unusual on this vehicle is, this is, should I call it the gear lever? You can see your start-stop, that's to switch on the power, actually start the engine. Park is that button there, and you literally flick it backwards or forwards to get it into drive or reverse, because of course it is a single speed planetary gearbox. Multifunction steering wheel, which I'm sure you're used to, and then you go over here to the center and you've got the typical standard BMW touchscreen. Very interesting, with the eye controller over here down in the center, of course not hampered by gear levers or anything else, and the very standard BMW format of buttons, etc. to operate all of those. Electronic parking brake over here. So all those are pretty familiar BMW features, aren't they? You have your full function screen, as I mentioned, and let's talk very quickly, because seeing as we're on the screen over here, the vehicle info screen, the electric motor puts out 125 kilowatts, which is really a lot for not that big a vehicle. 250 Newton meters of torque, the equivalent of those. And this has been my consumption during our test period. Covered 446 kilometers during our period at 15 kilowatt hours per 100 kilometers. Now, I've done a bit of research, and I can tell you that at Eskom's current rates, Maybe they'll get an increase again this year, but at their current rate, that consumption will cost you about 20 Rand per 100 kilometers for electricity. If you take your average smaller car that is costing you between 1 Rand and 1 Rand 50 per kilometer for fuel, in other words, 100 kilometers will cost you anywhere from 100 to 150 Rand. You're talking 20 Rands worth of electricity. That is how cheap it can be to run this vehicle if you're running on battery power only, like I managed to do for actually this entire test period. Yes, you're limited on range to 120 approximately kilometers on a full charge. But if you plan your trips and you use your car properly, you can be assured you can run it at those costs. You've got your air conditioning system over here, your very neat fascia, your very neat dash, full leather trim. This particular car even has, as an extra, 2 small individual sunroofs that can tilt, open, or just the blind comes across. So this particular car does have lots of extras on it. The standard price for an i3 range extender is 630,000 Rand. As this one is here right now, it's approximately 760,000 Rand, because it also has, for example, the upgraded Harman Kardon sound system. I mentioned the professional navigation and many, many other features, 20-inch wheels that are not standard, and the list goes on of extra items on this particular car that do increase the price. It may be a big buy-in for a car, but if you can amortize your costs over a longer period and you can be running at 20 Rand per 100 kilometers for electricity cost and minimal servicing costs because of the electric motor as opposed to a petrol or diesel engine, I think you can see that as soon as the infrastructure is available in South Africa for charging, and available charging maybe on the open road to use it in a more varied usage, or for example for you to take it out into the country or maybe shopping centers or wherever it is, just more convenience for charging than only in your garage at home, I believe there is a massive, massive future for electric vehicles. For Matters, I'm Eleanor, and I'll see you next time.